Welcome back to Whiskey and Windage. This week, we are going to talk all things World of Troy. We are going to talk about Troy Industries, and we are joined by Cory Halbrooks. Cory, how's it going, man?
It's good, man. How are you guys?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, a little under the weather, but we're muscle.
You want what?
Lie to
That's
the
what they
people
make.
some more, Mikey. Come on.
That's what they make Vicks Vapor Rub for. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
you'd be all right.
yeah, it's already everywhere.
Well, a lot of people listening into this right now, this is coming out the week after SHOT Show or something, but recordings pre-SHOT Show. So Mikey's just getting trained up before we got to go to SHOT Show.
This is not the SHOT Show funk. I'm sure I'll have
He's patient zero this year.
Yes, yeah. I am.
That's it. You're patient zero. You're going to get all of us. No. That's what's going to really happen.
Everybody blame me. Sorry. Yeah, okay, like I'm still wearing like Christmas shirt. Like I'm wearing.
Now I have a machine gun.
Yeah.
This is gonna come out a month after Christmas, and Mikey's got his Christmas sweater on.
No. Now's the time to wear all that stuff, so that in like 3 months when people bring it back up, you're like, I was in the season all year long.
Yeah, I mean, some people are going to argue that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, and I say
they're wrong.
People,
they're wrong.
They're wrong. They can go to hell.
I mean, it's well established.
And 2 are Christmas movies.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. The next argument is 2, and I'm pretty sure 2 is also a Christmas movie. Like,
yeah,
it's well established. Die Hard 1
happens
is a Christmas movie.
During Christmas. Okay, so it's a Christmas movie. Otherwise, Home Alone is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it happens at a company Christmas party.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Whatever. So
we're all gonna get hate.
Yeah, we're getting hate, and I don't care. Hate away. So Cory, why don't you kind of lead us in a little bit, and why don't you talk about who you are and what you do at Troy?
Okay, well, I first off, I appreciate this. Been talking to you guys for a while, so I really appreciate you guys bringing not only myself but the company on here. So I've worked for Troy for almost 5 years. Next year in June, it'll be 5 years. The company has been in operation for about 23 years right now. Started, Steve Troy was a guy and didn't like the sights he was being issued. When he deployed, came back, started making them, and next thing you know, we're rolling into full guns and suppressors and everything. So pretty interesting story on how Troy Industries started with just a guy with a dream, and he hated something and decided to change it, and we've kind of kept that along this whole time. For me, I started in the gun business. Actually, I started in the gun business because with an FFL, my wife and I were trying to find her a concealed carry, and all the gun shops were saying she needed a revolver. My wife's 5'2", weighs 103 pounds. And she was like, I want a semi-auto. I want a 308. I need a semi-auto. And it really frustrated me how everybody was like, no, this is what you want. Nobody was listening to the customer. And so I started a business on that. I ended up shutting it down to adopt my niece, and ended up working at Troy. But it was great that I moved to Troy. I don't think I would have survived the Biden administration. But that's okay. I landed a great spot. I'm U.S. sales rep. I work with dealers, distributors, individuals. I do everything. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how I've gone from a guy that was frustrated about customer service to now I'm helping run a company's sales. Yeah, I am. Yeah, exactly.
I am the customer service.
That's one of the first jobs I had at Troy, was working on the customer service side, and I was like, okay, so this is what I want as a customer. So this is what our customers want. So let's push this. Open door. We work through problems. We don't slam the door on anybody, even if they're being jerks to us. We go, yep, we all have bad days, and I love you at the end of the day anyway. Thank you. So.
Cory, were you a Troy fan before you started working there?
So I used Troy stuff when I was in the military, and I didn't realize how big Troy was. Like most people, I didn't know we made rifles. I had, some of our accessories and stuff like that. When I had my FFL, I would get our accessories and stuff, but I can never get into the groups that had our rifles. So when I came to the sales side, I was like, okay, so this is an area that we're missing, so we need to hit that area. So I've been a fan of Troy. Now I just spend more of my paycheck at Troy.
So makes sense. It's only
I have a problem there too.
get the discount. So when you first started working there, and you did mention, well, I knew they made all the parts. I didn't know that you guys made rifles. You made all that, but what part of the product development were you most surprised by? Like, oh, we make that.
So it's kind of funny. It's the most simplistic thing. Well, it's really two things. Our modular combat grip, which is an aluminum grip that attaches to the Picatinny rail that you can. I'll show you one later that we're working on changing some things about, but you can actually change the length. In my military time, we were all given the Knight's Armament, forward grip. We were all really excited about it. I broke 4. And then I was like, I obviously can't trust these. I quit using them. And so that's actually one of the things before I worked for Troy, I actually had, because I was excited that I found an aluminum grip that I can adjust and make it best for me and myself. And then the second one was something I totally thought was gimmicky. And that was our squid grips, which go in M-lock sections. And I was like, okay, it's a rubberized grip. We'll give it a shot. So I ordered a set. And next thing you know, I have those things all over the place. My cats play with them. I mean, I have them everywhere. I open up a drawer and there's a set, and I'm like, crap. Okay. So, but those were the two things that I really focused on and I really used. Flip up battle sights, we're known for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't really something I wanted on all my guns. I was working more towards getting, LPVOs, ACOGs, stuff like that. And now I have a whole drawer full of them. So it kind of, I hope my wife doesn't see this, because she works at Troy and she can look to see what I purchased. So
yeah, we're not going to do that.
No, that's a great way to end up on the couch for Christmas.
That's for sure.
All right. Well, I think it's just about time for our first segment. This segment is called Ask AI. It's just a fun little segment where we ask it's some sort of AI search engine or chatbot about Troy Industries. This week's Ask AI is brought to you by Lockdown and their Secure Wall. You can see it behind me and Mikey. All metal construction, all the accessories you need to hang rifles, pistols, magazines. You can find it on their website at lockdown.com. Don't forget to use code whiskey10 and save yourself a couple of bucks. So we asked AI, who is Troy Industries? Troy Industries, often stylized as Troy, is an American industry manufacturer that designs and produces small arms components, tactical accessories, and firearms for military, law enforcement, professional, and civilian use. Founded in 2003 by Stephen Troy, retired Massachusetts State Trooper and U.S. Air Force veteran. Headquartered in Clarksville, Tennessee, a producer of firearms parts and accessories, OEM components, and complete weapon systems. Troy is best known for their rugged, innovative firearm accessories and components, including battle sights, rails, slings, magazines, OEM parts supplied to other major makers, and complete firearms developed under its Troy Defense line aimed at professional users. It actually goes on and on for quite some time, so I think I'm going to take that in summary.
Yeah, that's pretty much on point. I do love this segment simply because it shocks people and how close it is, and it hit it on the head. We are U.S. based, and we only have one factory. It's here in I'll say it, Clarksville, Tennessee, where Mike hasn't been yet to see the kick factory.
I'm sick.
No, but so when we say that we're a U.S. based company, what we mean by that is our aluminum, we source it from the U.S. Our fabrics for our slings is sourced from the U.S. Our barrels, we don't make them. They have to be U.S. source material from our manufacturers. And it's to the point that we've actually gotten material from some of our suppliers, and then we go, okay, now show us the certificate of origin.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't say U.S. Thank you. We appreciate our partnership. We are done. And we just don't play. So it's kind of interesting because people are like, oh yeah, you guys are assemblers. Oh no, we make 90% of our guns. There's some things we don't make, like our bolt carrier group and our barrels. Well, guess what? People have been making barrels longer than my last three, grandparents have been alive.
Right.
Why would we try to take that over? They're experts in it. We're not. Bolt carrier groups. There's people out there that have nailed that and made it so precise. Why not use their product? Because everybody trusts it already. So we go with that. Our springs, our detents, we're not going to make those because, if we made them, they'd be triple the cost. That doesn't make any sense. But everything else we do, everything else we make, and then anything that comes in, we actually put it under a lot of scrutiny at the company and be like, no, like that gas port holds a little bit too big. Okay, that's check one that they got wrong. Okay, 2 more checks and they're done. So we're kind of we hold ourselves to a higher level of quality, and what we try to do is build the rifle that everybody wants, everybody can trust, and if they can't, reach out to me and I'll make it right. Like, that's the way we go with things. We're gun people, and we try to find gaps in the industry that we know that are there because we're gun people. We shoot, we go to the range, we all pull the mat thing and go find the local dumpster and burn into it. We all do that, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I was pretty impressed. The only thing that let me down on AI was I thought it was going to be a cooler name at the beginning when it was like Troy Industries, also known as Troy. It sounds
so, and it said in big capital letters. It was like, often stylized as Troy.
Yeah. Well, it's like, my name's Michael, often known as
Mike.
We know that was the first name in the company. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, we got it. It's on our shirts. We got it.
We are Troy Industries, otherwise known as Phil.
Right? Yeah.
So from talking about a company that founded by a veteran, family owned, lots of, I'm assuming lots of veterans. I mean, you're up at Campbell, so I mean, I'm sure you also have some leak out from Campbell every now and then. But how do you guys define duty grade when designing products?
So when we're designing products, there's a few routes we take. So first, there is the user that comes to us. As you said, we're right outside of Fort Campbell. There's a special group of guys that do special things on Fort Campbell. And they've come to us and been like, hey, look, we have this issue. Now, flip that around. We've come out with new products like our angle grip, and we're like, hey, guys, we know you're sending a bunch of guys through this school soon or at some point. We're going to give you like 6 different prototypes. Can you guys tell us which one you like the best? And with our angle grip, they came back and they're like, yeah, they all suck. We hate them all, but we like this one for this. We like this one for this. And we like this one for this. We put it together and we made a product of it. And then there's the guys that, like, it's hilarious. Steve Troy will come out and he'll be like, hey, we're doing this. And all of us are like, I don't know. Okay. Like, your name's on my shirt. You are Troy. And next thing you know, it's a product line. Perfect example for that is our new Gen 2 Sock C rail. Steve came to me. I mean, talk about a humbling moment for me. I thought I was smart. So he comes to me and he's like, hey, Cory, what do you think of this new rail? And he had it designed on CAD and everything. And I was like, okay, it's got texturing. That's kind of, it's kind of gimmicky. I don't know if I would even buy that. Like, why would I want it? And he's like, I appreciate your input. So anyway, we already have one in the machine being made, so I don't care. I was like, okay, I got it, boss. Like, you're pushing this through. He put it in my hand. When it was all done, he put it in my hand, and I looked at him. I went, okay, I'll be honest, Steve. This is really nice. Here you go. I handed it back to him and said, I'll go stand in the corner because I'm a bad, stupid boy right now. Because there's things, he sees things like 3 times farther than any of us at the company see it. And the next thing you know, he's like, yeah, so why don't we do this? Well, that doesn't make any logical sense to us. Well, that's okay because it makes sense to me and how my brain works, and we're going to run with it. Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
we
Let him cook.
yeah, that's it. We just released our scope mount 2 months ago when this airs. It'll be 2 months ago. And we've been teasing it for a year. It wasn't ready. Nobody knows. We've been working on that for like 5-6 years. And finally Steve was like, no, scrap it, start over. And we're all like, but it's great. And he's like, don't care, start over. And so we've started over like 4 times. And then we hit this one, and Steve's like, this is what I was looking for. You guys finally understood what I wanted. We communicated correctly, and we got it. Cool. Awesome. So let's roll it out. And we're all like, okay, well, I don't know how his brain works, but it works.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
was on the same page about the textured rail though.
Yeah.
When you showed it to us, I was like, I don't know. And admittedly, like I'm not an AR guy. There's a lot of like kitschy, nichey things in
Yes.
the AR in all AR stuff that's like I don't know. And then yeah, you put it in my hand, and I was like, I don't want to see another aluminum handguard without that texture on it again in my life. Like I don't care. Why do we have smooth aluminum handguards? It doesn't
Right.
even make any sense now.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense to me anymore. I'm like, why is this smooth? We've been able to machine texture onto it. Why the hell is it smooth?
Yeah. And so it's the way his brain works. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, the first time he pulled me in his office and he was asking me questions and I was answering them and stuff like that, I was like, man, Steve Troy's asking me, the guy that's run a company for years, is asking the guy that, doesn't have his business anymore. He's asking me, man, that's really cool. And then that one, I was like, man, thanks God for knocking me down a peg and making me humble again. Like,
that's why he runs the business and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If I ran the business, I'd be like, hey, Steve, do you want to be a contractor and just come up with ideas and run with it? Like, that's all I want you for. I want the brain.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Cory, right offhand, like what, and from your experience working there, I mean, you're a user, and now you've moved your way through a couple steps up into the company. What do you think separates Troy from the other accessories and AR style rifle brands?
So first off, I'm going to say that because we're all end users, as long as it works for you, we don't care. I hope you go with Troy, but at the same time, maybe our grip isn't good for you. Maybe our rail isn't good for you. So we understand that aspect. Now, how I explain it to people, especially military guys, because they're like, oh yeah, well, it's mil spec. Yeah, okay. Mil spec sounds great, but I don't want a truck made by a mil spec person, okay?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
My guns are way better than military quality.
You're right. They're made by Soviets who couldn't, eat. So anyway, my AK's up there, so don't hate me too much.
My AK's up there.
Yeah. So what we do is we take mil spec and we put it under a microscope. How I explain it to people is, okay, so as a soldier, right, I had guys, I was infantry. I had guys that they would go and they'd qualify. So it's on a rifle. So that's 20, you could score 24 to 40 and qualify and go deploy. Okay. So do you want the guy that scores the 24 to be next to you in the foxhole, or do you want the guy that scores 30? I want the guy that scores 30 because I know that if I miss him and I scored a 40, he still has a chance to hit him, where the guy at 24, he better be like 6 foxholes away freaking out where our water's coming from.
He's the diversion.
Yeah. Wave your hands and say, hey, I love you, Mom. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
No offense to guys that score 24. But 100%. So we've taken the mil spec left and right limits, and we've tightened them up. That's what we've done. There's gun companies out there that hit mil spec and they hit it on the head. That's great. But we've taken that little edge and we've made our quality so much better simply because of that. Our guns don't rattle. Our rails, fit great. On mil spec barrel nuts, we don't use a proprietary barrel nut anymore because we're like, this is stupid. We're end users. Let's use a mil spec barrel nut because it's easy and people can use it. Any gun. Why not? So we take what the end user wants in mind. We try to make it as strong as we can. And most of the time we over-engineer it. And then we make it here in the United States in our own factory. That's what we bring to the table.
Hmm.
We try to make it so that if we sell a TPR, our Troy Patrol Rifle, to law enforcement, the civilians can buy the exact same model minus full auto.
It's sitting right here.
I want that back. Minus
It's
the
coming
full
back.
auto. Minus the full auto. Talk to your congressman about that. But we will sell you the exact same thing. Yeah, you might have to jump through more hoops than your local police department. I'm sorry, that's the way we are right now with our rights. But
Yeah.
that's what we try to do. We don't try to limit it so that, we're not going to do this because of military contracts and we're full of military contracts. No, we're not going to do that. No, if we have to open a second, third shift, if people have to work the weekends to make sure that we get our guns out, that's what we do. I mean, it's Sunday when we're recording this. Our factory is open all weekend because we're trying to get a government contract for another country out so that we can get guns out in time for our customers for Christmas.
There you go.
So, I mean, that's where our heart lies. Our heart lies with the customers, not just the people that put their lives on the line every day, but also the people that are at home sleeping and somebody breaks into your house.
So we've had a couple manufacturers on in the past,
A few
who make things, who make their products, and then do some white labeling for other people. And we understand fully, in that relationship, you can't even remotely hint at who those third party vendors are, and you don't want to, and that's cool. But I also notice with people that are also white labeling, sometimes they get there's a couple misconceptions about them because the Reddit warriors don't know the whole story. So I guess, most common misconception that people hear about Troy, what do you think the most common one is?
So there's a few of them. The most recent one was started by somebody that we're going against on government contracts, and it was that we don't make our own stuff, that we just assemble. Okay, challenge that. We were told that, so we're going for a law enforcement contract, and we were told that by their chief. Well, we were told that you guys don't make your own stuff. You guys buy stuff from everybody, and then you put it together. Bet. We've opened up the factory for tours. Come on in. We take pictures of our guys doing it in videos now. There's some things we won't show simply because we have proprietary knowledge on it, on our processes. We bring dealers through. We bring anybody through. If you call us and you're like, hey, I want to come through.
Like, yeah. I'm a nobody. And they're like, yeah, come on down.
And he likes AKs.
I like AKs, yeah.
No, but I mean, like, that's the thing. When you throw something like that at us, that you don't talk about my mom. Yeah. Like that is exactly how we took that. You don't talk about my mom. And so when we heard that,
I make 99% of my guns, sir.
Yeah. Even if we made 75, there's companies out there, and nothing against those companies at all. There's companies out there that make 15% of their gun. And well, I was being nice. You know what? And that's fine. That is completely fine. The market's out there for those people. Completely fine. But at the same time, if you're going to throw rocks at a glass house, like, guess what? You're throwing rocks at our glass house. We'll just open all the blinds. Like, be prepared for what you're going to see, because some things aren't going to be pretty. Like, hopefully our bathroom has tinted windows. That's all I'm going to say, But
yeah, that makes sense. Because, I mean, there's lots of people out there, and, getting to see behind the curtain a little bit with other companies, you start realizing that, oh man, just because, your roll mark says Troy on it, it would be interesting, and I guess the easiest way to do it would be, we'll just go high percentage or low percentage chance. So to the average listener here that, owns a handful, 4 or 5, ARs. Is there a low percentage or a high percentage chance that there is a World of Troy part on there that isn't labeled Troy.
So we have done a lot of, we'll call it collabs with other gun manufacturers. And that's a big part of
It
our
happens.
business.
And it happened.
Oh yeah. It's a huge part of the industry.
100%. I mean, we sell parts to our competitors that are going against the same contracts. Like, it's fine. It's how the industry works. And if you don't understand that and you think that podunk gun manufacturers making all their stuff, that's a great illusion. But I guarantee you they're not making their screws, their springs. I almost guarantee it. So
Yeah.
I will bet, my gun collection that there is not a gun company that makes 100%. And I'm talking 100% screws,
Nope.
springs. Everybody does it.
Not in an AR company. No way.
No. So the likelihood that your listeners actually have stuff that's made by Troy and not Mark Troy is actually pretty high, depending how long they've been in the industry. There was points that major gun manufacturers are coming to us, getting our rails, and we're marking them with their logo. Hey, no problem. If you pay me enough money, I'll make a mic rail, and the mic rail it'll be ugly because it'll match his shirt, but 100% we will do that. Yeah. And that's business. If you don't understand that aspect of business, I appreciate that, and I understand that. There's people out there that can work with uranium. I'm not going near it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but either way, you're making the money, whether you sell it to the end user or you sell it to the dealer, to the other manufacturer who then sells it to the end user. Either way, you make money. So it's okay.
It is okay. And the funny thing is even if you don't own anything from Troy on your gun at all, like it doesn't say our name or anything like that, most likely some part of your gun was borrowed from what we've done. I mean, you look how long we've been making rails, and you're telling me that we haven't impacted the rail industry.
Right.
Look at our sites and tell me that there aren't, we'll not call them perfect copies. We'll call them honor copies.
Heavily influenced by.
Heavily influenced. Great answer. Great answer. You win $1 of our sites. And you want to what? We understand that. Because that's how an industry continues. That's how we progress. That's how we move on. That's how we build. Is we go, okay, so you did this, and it worked out great for the time being. It's been 13, 10, 5 years. Well, let's try it with this metal. Let's try it with this attachment. Let's do it this way. Okay, that's how we get better as an industry. And if people don't understand that, then
that's how consumers get better products too.
Yeah. I mean, look at the pistol industry.
Yeah.
Glock. Perfection in 1980s. Right? And then look at it today. You telling me that you don't think if Glock didn't come by and come out with their polymer plastic gun that nobody wanted back then, we wouldn't be where we are today? Oh, heck no. SIG. I mean, everybody, you name it.
Heavily influenced.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Heavily influenced by.
That should be a t-shirt or a sticker.
Yeah.
We
can make that happen.
But, so even if you don't own something that we've made, we go out there and we see stuff and we're like, hey, that looks really familiar. That's awesome.
I know. All right, let's take a quick break and hear from our friends over at EOTech.
Premium performance doesn't have to come with a premium price tag. The Voodoo X series combines trusted EOTech quality with the features shooters rely on most. Adjustable parallax for clarity at any distance, an illuminated reticle for all lighting conditions, and magnification ranges for every scenario. Whether you're chasing big game or ringing steel, this lineup can do it all. The Voodoo X series from EOTech, precision within reach.
All right, welcome back, Cory. Let's jump right back into it. What was the turning point from 2003 when Mr. Troy was like, I am making some better sights because what was issued to me was garbage. So from that first set of sights to the entire world that is Troy now, what was the transition? When was that first transition into like, okay, we're not just making accessories anymore. We're going to make a gun.
we're jumping into it. No, that's a good question. A lot of people don't know this, so I'm gonna kind of drag this question out a little bit. So Steve, what a lot of people don't know is when Steve started the company, we had a brick and mortar building, an actual factory. Steve was still a Massachusetts State Trooper, and he was still doing Air Force Reserve stuff.
Dang.
So he would go do his shift, his night shift, come in, get a couple hours of sleep under his desk, get up and start work. So like he was pushing it. You know what I mean? And there's a few little things that hit that really stacked it. First off, he tells a story better. One of his kids made a comment that he never sees his dad because he works 3 jobs. Like, ow, I'm a dad, way to break my heart. Like, right, that hurts, right? The second one was, as a Massachusetts State Trooper, he was issued his own sights and his own duty rifle. He didn't know the contract. He didn't know. It just happened.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think we've made it. You know, like Massachusetts State Troopers are buying my sights, you know. And then the third, how we really jumped into firearms is there was let's see how I can say this so it sounds good. There was a lack of customer follow through or customer support and follow through, we'll say, with police departments. At the time, it was GWAP, baby. Like everybody wants that sugar daddy, Uncle Sam. You know what I mean? And so police departments were having issues with firearms, and they weren't getting the support they needed. And Steve, being a cop, you know, it's a trooper from Massachusetts, he was like, no, this isn't cool. So that's kind of how we first dove into it. The first set of rifles we actually made was for a police department. Okay. I don't know which one, but it was for a police department because they were tired of not getting support. So that's kind of how we fell into it. And then from there, it just progressed. And next thing you know, like now we've gone to Washington State to put on an armorer's course. You know, we flew out there, we put on the armorer's course because we found out that their state required their armorers to have our certificate of an armorer's course. So we created an armorer's course just for that. So that follow through is really what pushed us to do that. Yeah. And then we've kind of made things like the pump action rifle where we're like, oh, you can't own ARs in your state? Well, you can own this. So
you can own that.
Yeah. So I was going to say, so you guys sell all the parts on your site, you know, and in gun shops across America. You guys also sell, you know, your firearm platforms. So what defines the Troy rifle compared to, you know, just, you know, a parts, not your parts, a parts assembled rifle? You know, what is the difference? And I like hearing people say that no matter what brand it is, because, you know, if you're a gun nerd, you know, there's no secrets. We can all go out there and, you know, buy your run of the mill or whatever you want. You could make it a game with your friends and say who can build the cheapest, who can build the most expensive, whatever it is. You can go out there and build your own kit of whatever it is. So when you look at it that way, you know, parts based versus a Troy rifle, what defines a Troy rifle?
That is a really good question, and I wasn't prepared for this. So let's just go. So 100%, it's our standard of quality. We're an ISO 9000 company. Since we moved to Tennessee, we haven't had any major faults. The last inspection we had one, and it wasn't even a fault. We had come up with a new process, and we hadn't finalized it to put it in our system yet. And they were like, hey, you need to do that. And we're like, okay. It's already like we've already had all the meetings. We just haven't done the stamping, but it's our quality. And when I say our quality, let me explain how a lower works for us. Okay. So our forged lower, there are 4 to 5 forging companies, depending what you call a forging company in the United States, that make lowers that are forged. We get our pallet. Woo. It's not even at 3%. We go and we put it in the machine, and we start running it. The first article, the first part, after it's done with the machining on just the first part, so it's not even, it's probably like a 50% at that point. It goes to quality. Quality goes, yes, it's good, or no, it's not. If it's not good, guess what we do? We continue the process and we finish that first article all the way through. Then it goes to quality, and quality goes, this is where you're missing. You're not able to produce, run another one. And we've literally had tools that have run out, have run their lifespan, and they need to be put into the tool grave, bits and stuff like that. And so we switch them out. And we run article 2, and we run it all the way through, same checks and balances. Okay, cool. You guys are clear, your green light, it's perfect. Congratulations, you only scrapped one piece of metal. And we start production. Well, at this point, our policy, without getting too deep into it, is our guys have the drawings right there, and our machinists quality check themselves as they go through. Okay, well, that's like asking a student to check their homework, right? Of course, I'm going to give myself an A. I want to pass, or I want to get paid. Okay, so our quality guy can go out there and snag those parts at any time and check them. He also is required to check 10% of every single lower, rail, anything. This is across the company on everything we make, but I'm using lowers. He checks 10%. So our quality guy checks 10%. Our machinists check, usually it's about 30 to 40% of them in various spots. Okay. They go out for coating. They come back. He checks another 10%. The lower now goes to the gun cage guys, the gun builders, the assemblers. They go and they build up a rifle. Now, their manager is not allowed to touch the rifle during the entire process because the manager is now quality checking his team. And once again, we don't want the student to grade his homework. So the gun cage manager or the gunsmith actually checks it. They go out, they test fire with the manager or quality. It could be either two. Comes back in. At that point, they do another inspection on it, make sure everything's fine. Then they go and they take it to quality, and quality does 100% inspection on every single rifle we make. Then it goes to packaging. Packaging, at one point, the youngest guy in the factory was at packaging. Wow. That guy had the ability to hit the imaginary red button and go, stop, this is wrong. This doesn't look right. This smells off. This looks off, something. Okay, stop. And we act as if quality is the one that hit that button.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go. Quality manager, get in here. We need to look at this. Then it goes from packaging, it goes to shipping. And our shipping guy, that guy is, you think we're gun people. That guy's just off the spectrum gun guy. That guy has 100% been, you want what? I don't like the look of that one screw. That one screw, the color looks off. Nobody else thinks so. I think so. And he'll take the gun and he'll go get it replaced and get it blessed by quality and go through the entire process all over again. So that is the meat and potatoes of how we build a gun. It's the fine details that we work on,
Yeah.
When it comes to something new or anything like that, it's the exact same process, is the fine details. Because we don't want anything to go out there. I'll quote the lead gunsmith, the gun cage manager. I don't want somebody's life to depend on something that I wouldn't use to defend my life.
Mm-hmm.
Percent.
It's heavyweight.
Yeah, we sell to law enforcement. Okay, let's say that. Okay, hypothetically, God, I hope this never happens. Let's say something happens in Clarksville. Police respond. Okay. And my kids are at the mall. My kids are at their school. My kids are at the grocery store with me. You know whose guns Clarksville PD runs? They run ours. I want to make sure that gun works because my life is now on the line and in the hands of the law enforcement officer that's using our gun. So if it fails and somebody gets hurt because we fail, that's horrific for us.
Yeah.
That.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought up veterans earlier. We're about 75% veterans. We have about a 3% employee rate of spouses or children of veterans. And when we were downrange, we never wanted to have to call Barrett and ask how to fix your 50 cal. Right? That's a horrific thought.
Yeah.
And now we're taking that and we're bringing it into the production side. And that's what Steve has really pushed on that production side. And so it's something that we don't want to fail and have somebody lose their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guarantee you half the company would quit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
That would be horrific.
When a lot of folks, for a lot of folks, guns are a fun thing, and for almost all of us, we use guns for fun for 99.999 a million times
Yep.
percent of the time. When we're using a firearm, it's for fun, and so that part of it is easy to blow off, right? It's I had a whatever malfunction, I had a this happen, but the reality of what if that would have happened and you needed that gun, and like that's a hard thing. That's a hard
Yeah.
thing to deal with.
Well,
That's a
it's the
heavy
only,
thing.
I was gonna say it's like the only tool, because a firearm's a tool, but it's the only tool that's, failure rate is unacceptable. You
Right.
look at a construction worker and his framing nailer. He's framing a house. He hits one and trigger goes off, air goes off, nail doesn't come out. It's all right. He hits it again and it
Yeah.
does. Or, oh man, must be a bad link, must be a bad strip of nails. I'll pull them out and put a new strip in. All right, cool. No big deal. Shingles, same thing. Plumbers, oh, this is a bad piece of copper. No big deal. We'll just cut that off and re-sweat a new piece. You look at all these different tools of the trade, failure is part of it, but in the firearms industry, failure is not acceptable. Whereas every other industry's tool has a failure rate and a tolerance for failure. Like, it's okay. I mean, you can just take your pick of the litter. I mean, go to your closest hardware store, and don't do this because it's idiotic, but buy every light bulb that's on the rack and plug them all up and turn them all on. Odds are you're going to have a handful of them that don't work or that short out in a week. And everybody just says, oh, that's okay. I just got a dud. I got a bad light bulb. Oh, I got a dud bottle rocket in my fireworks. Oh, no big deal. It's cool.
I have a broken egg in my carton.
Yeah, guns, they can't fail, and for good reason, but it's the tolerances are very strict.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Cory,
go ahead. Sorry.
Nope, you finish your thought because I was about to change subjects.
All right. Yeah. No, I was just going to say, so like, we do have customers that have issues with their firearms. It does happen.
Yeah.
And so when I took over customer service, I was like, look, no questions. I don't care if you changed out the trigger pack or anything like that. Our warranty says I do, but let's help the customer all the way through it and figure out what's going on, because it's a machine and we don't know. I've had guys call me and they're like, yeah, I've had this gun for 13 years. And this was one of your first productions that you guys sold to the public, and I'm having this issue. Send it to me. Here's a shipping label. Here's an RMA for you to return it to us. So legally you're covered. Send it to us and we'll figure out what's going on. Yeah. We might be like, hey man, yeah, so the trigger you put in there is backwards. Or it might be, hey, the barrel's just out of life. So.
Sorry, you said the trigger is backwards, and it just took me back to the first time I ever installed an AR trigger, and I put the hammer spring on backwards. And so it would just it kind of worked almost. That's the amazing thing, is it did kind of work. But then I was just like, light strike, light strike, light strike. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And somebody smarter than me eventually was like, your hammer springs turned around.
Turn that around right there.
Yeah, that thing right there. Idiot.
We've all done it.
Yeah, sorry, it was ADD moment. You said backwards trigger, and I'm like. So, Cory, tell us the importance of the rail to Troy. Why is the rail system the foundation of the skeleton of a rifle?
So the rail for us is really important simply because your front sight's on it, right? If my rear sight is solid on the upper, which is bolted to the lower, I need my front sight to have the same strong grip on it, right? And so that's why we go with our 4-lug system. If you look at our products throughout our lifetime as a company, you've seen us move from I don't know the technical term, so I'm going to call it the screw bolt to wedge system on the bottom of the rails, right?
Yeah.
And then you saw us move to a 3-lug system that goes and interfaces directly with the barrel nut. Well, now we're doing 4. And it's simply because that, for one, your hand's up there. For 2, it's got your sight on there, your optic, your laser, whatever you want on there, the kitchen sink's on there. So that is why that is so solid for us and why we want it to be a piece that works every time when you install it. Now, I will say we make ours at a 60-61. We're going to get into some methodology here. Because if it's 70-75, when there's a catastrophic failure and somebody puts a 300 blackout in a 5.56, we've all seen the video where it goes, blah, right? So ours are made out of 60-61. So instead of exploding or fragmenting like 70-75 does, what it does is it kind of balloons out. So it's a protective measure that we go with for 60-61. To the point that our rails, I've been on the phone with customer. Well, it wasn't the customer, the person that owned it. It was the actual gun range. And they're like, hey, a guy picked up a 300 blackout on our course of fire, threw it in his magazine, thinking it was one he dropped. He loaded it in and he sent it. He goes, the upper's fragged. It's gone. The lower, it's okay. It's okay. And the rail, so this wasn't our gun at all. Okay. But he had our alpha rail on there. And he goes, the alpha rail, the rail is fine, completely fine. How do I mount it? And I go, oh, with the standard mil-spec barrel nut. It's not proprietary? No, it's not. No, 100%. It's a mil-spec barrel nut. We made it easy. Okay, cool. So he threw it on there and he goes, okay, yeah, the guy just went back out to finish the course of fire. All he had to do was buy a new barrel, a new gas tube, a gas block, upper and bulk carrier group.
Damn.
So that's why we use 60-61. That is why we use a mil-spec barrel nut. It's really crazy. It's like Eugene Stoner knew what he was doing when he's like, yeah, everything else is aluminum except for the barrel and the barrel nut. Why change it? If it works, why change it? So that is why the rail is so important to us, because your life depends on this rifle. You can't use a rifle without your sights. Most rifles start out with just flip-up battle sights or fixed battle sights. So you need that. You need that to be a solid platform.
That makes sense. More often than not, what do you see when it comes to consumers, or not? I don't want to say you're, talking bad about other people. We'll just talk about rails in general. What do you think that most consumers, what mistakes do they make when they're trying to choose a rail for their firearm?
Okay, this is going to sound terrible. Sometimes I say I'm the worst sales guy for Troy because I'm a gun guy first, okay?
Yeah.
100%. You don't need the most expensive rail out there. You need a rail that works for you. Okay? I hope you go with Troy. You ready for this? I hope you go with the Troy Alpha rail because I love the Alpha rail. But that doesn't work for everybody. Do you want a quad rail? Okay, cool. Go with the quad rail. Everybody goes, you want what? The military's going with this. The military's full of a bunch of stupid people up top who don't listen to the guys on the bottom.
Yeah.
The guys in the field test it out and they go, man, you know what? This kind of smells weird. And they go, it's okay. You'll get used to it. So why go for what the military uses? Why go for what your local PD do? Why go with what your buddy uses? Go to a range, right? And go there with your own mags full of ammo and go, hey, can I try your rail out? Hey, can I try out? We won't even say rails. Hey, can I try your bus stock out? Why? Because we only make 3 bus stocks. I want to try your bus stock out. And find the one that works for you because it's your gun. My gun. Matt would hate my gun because, except for the AK, Mike would sit here and be like, you want what? Nah, I don't like the way that's set up. That's cool, man. It's my gun.
Well,
why?
But ARs are I always say this jokingly, ARs are just adult male Legos. I mean,
yeah.
They're just Legos.
It's an erector set.
Yes.
Yeah. Matt's erection set. They can do whatever they want and make Matt feel whatever way he feels. But Lord, I can configure mine however I want.
That's right.
How it makes Matt feel and do, that's up to him.
It's your erector set. Use it how you want to, Mike.
It's your erection. You do what you see fit with it.
It's kinetics for adults. That's 100% what it is. Because when I was a kid and I was putting together kinetics, I sucked 100%. Like those little Ferris wheel thingy never went around. Okay. Like I always end up making like swords out of it. Okay. But 100%, it drives me crazy. As a gun guy, we'll take off the shirt and the hat. As a gun guy, I hate it when people go, you want what? You need to buy insert optic. Well, why do I need to buy it? Well, because I love it. Well, that's just asinine. It's asinine. I love the aim point patrolman because I used it so much in the military, right? Every deployment I had one.
Oh, the PR.
Yeah. I love it. I
Well,
love it. But
I was gonna say it's interesting though, because even
I
down to
don't love them.
my
well-
buddies hate them.
but even
They're
down to
tiny and like it's just
I was going to say, even at like 5th group up there where you're at, I mean, and all special force people, they're given the leeway to say what works for them. But
Mhm.
if they were not given that much leeway and they were given the same stuff that,
Conventional units got.
conventional units got, you could outfit them with manufacturer brand insert the blank.
Yeah.
And they're still going to figure out a way to do work with them. And at that point, yeah, I'm sure reliability can come into question on certain things, but even some of the stuff they select isn't that reliable. They have issues. But I guess my point is, just because Delta or the SEALs or whoever's carrying something, yeah, it means it's went through its rigors and testing for damn sure.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that it's the end all be all, because I'm not part of 6. I'm not Green Beret. I'm not 5th group. So it doesn't matter what you give me versus what you give them. Like it's unfair before we even walk out the door.
It is. Like, okay, so I've been in 5th group's vault. All right, it's one of those cool things I get to do with the job where I get to travel and I get to meet people that do the things that I didn't do when I was in, right? Okay, those guys have so many different weapon platforms that we would all drool over. Oh yeah, I have the Mark 12. Yeah, I have the M110. Yeah, I have the DD 18. Yeah, I have this. I have that. I have this. And you want to what? Those guys get to hand select what they want. Okay, cool. That's cool. But they do it for the mission.
Right.
Everything has a purpose for a mission. And so blankly going, and I know they're a sponsor for you. I love EOTech as well. But going, you want to know what? EOTech's the best. We're going to stick with EOTech. Screw everybody else. Well, that's not that's not the end all be all. If it was, we'd have one AR company, we'd have one pistol company, we'd have one optics company, and one ammo company.
Dude, it's like I got Night Forces, I got Trijicon,
Oh, yeah.
I got them all. I mean, and like, and I've even got Crimson Trace and Primary Arms, and I don't care. I mean, they're specifically purpose built for the platform and what I'm going to do with it. And are any of those outfitted for, Doomsday? Maybe one or two of them, but there's a lot of
lever action might work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe with my Haro son.
hey, with Ukraine, it's battle tested, baby. It's been to there and back.
But I guess the point I'm getting at though is even if EOTech is the greatest and nothing can come close, it's still not right for everybody.
No, it's not. For one, we're looking at what is the purpose of your firearm? Okay. 2, what's your budget? Not everybody can afford the most expensive rail on the market. Some people are like, you want to what? I went with company so-and-so because I can afford them. You want to know? That's awesome. Good for you. Get in the gun. Get into rifles. Get into it. But you want to what? I want you to experiment. And I want you to figure out what really works for you. What do you like? Because that's all that really matters. It's your money.
Yeah.
That's why I'm the worst sales guy for Troy.
So we're going to take, Cory, we're going to take our second commercial break, and we're going to hear from our sponsors over there at Wheeler Tools. Guys, again, check them out, wheelertools.com. Use Whiskey 10, save yourself some money at checkout, and we'll be right back.
When precision matters, trust the tool that delivers. The Wheeler Pro Series 100-piece fat wrench kit brings unmatched control to your bench. With torque you can trust and 100 purpose-built bits, it's the all-in-one answer for gunsmiths, builders, and perfectionists. Whether you're mounting optics or dialing in fine details, this kit hits every mark. Clean, confident, repeatable. No guesswork, no strip screws. Just pro-level performance in your hands. Upgrade your bench with Wheeler Tools.
We just went down the rabbit hole of why EOTech was the best and all that stuff, but now I want to talk about stay on the subject of optics. And I want to talk about this new optic mount you guys have came out with. So I got to say, full transparency, I've got one. Matt's got one. Matt's has a diving board.
Yours doesn't.
Mine doesn't, and it's coming. I know. But man, I am super impressed with the quality, the construction, how secure it is. I mean, when you look at it, you think, well, hell yeah, it shouldn't move, and it should do exactly what it's told. It looks damn bomb-proof. I mean, it's nice. Why don't you talk about this thing for a little bit?
Okay, so this is after SHOT Show, so everybody will see the new stuff we released for SHOT Show. I wish I had it all here, but it's all off getting coded. So I'll start with the original story. So when we started to make a scope mount, right, it was at the request of somebody. Whole transparency, I'm not going to tell you who, so I guess it's half transparency. But somebody asked us to make a scope mount. We've been working on it since the company was in Massachusetts. So we're going on almost 5 years of the company being in Tennessee. So that's at least 5 years that I know of. And when they first got here, I was like, oh, these are awesome. And Steve Troy was like, no, I don't like these. So what we ended up doing is we wanted to make a scope mount that we could make fully accessorizable. If that's a real word, I don't know. It works.
I like it. It works.
We're going to roll with it.
Modular.
But modular. Thanks.
I like accessorizable better.
Accessorizable.
Yes.
I'm gonna trademark that.
You should.
But we wanted to make a scope mount that could do everything everybody wanted. And you didn't have to buy new rings. You didn't have to buy, a new top section for your rings, or, a new widget, or, you buy company's A thing, and then you have to go to company's B thing to buy the thing to mount to the A's. And then you have to go to C to get the plate to mount to A to B to C. And, we wanted to just one-stop shop. And so we actually came out with our modular scope mount. And the cool thing about it is, when I say it's modular, I mean, you guys used it. It's modular. Right. So I actually have one here, and I was
going to say, I hope you have one, because mine's bolted to a rifle and I've been using it, so it's not easy to show on camera.
No, it's not. And
it's right there.
There. Yeah. So when it came to the scope mount, my whole thing was, okay, I want it to be easy to use. Am I a long distance shooter? Oh, heck no. Okay. I made a 12.5 inch 308 because I wanted a battle rifle. Okay.
Hell yeah.
That's what I wanted. Yeah. Oh, I put a can on it. Excuse me. No, but 100%, we wanted something that you could modulize. You could move everything around. And that's what we did here. So first off, this is the design. Okay.
Hold on. So I'm going to stop real quick, because when I saw this on the internet, I didn't understand it. I thought it was just aesthetics. I thought it was just, it looks funny, and I was not feeling it. And then I got it in the mail. And the part you're about to explain blew my freaking mind.
When I say we over-engineer things, we over-engineer things.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
it's like bolting Optimus Prime on top of your rifle. It's ridiculous.
Maybe we should rename it. The Optimus Scope Mount.
Optimus Scope Mount.
That's not
Sorry. All right, continue.
All right. So one of the biggest things that people have trouble with is, okay, where's the bevel of your scope and where's your turrets located at? Okay, cool. So I have to find a scope mount that works with that. And if it doesn't work, I have like 4 scope mounts I will never use in my drawer, right? Just imagine Troy. Like, people ask where this whole problem came from. We had the issue. How many scope mounts do you think we have at Troy that have other people's names on them? And we have no problem with that. But when I go to a shoot with, so-and-so police department or primary arms range day for NRA, I have to set up new rifles every single time, depending on what distance we're shooting at, right? To show off our rifles.
Right.
So the first thing we did when we were like, we're making a modular scope mount, you can move your rings wherever you want. And how we did it is with index points that actually go all the way through and they bolt on, and your actually bolt on point is the bottom of the scope ring. So it doesn't matter. I mean, we have not found a scope that's longer than this. We found them shorter, but not longer. So we went with this length. So that is the first thing. And that blows people's mind because they're like, oh, yeah, congratulations. You took these holes right here. Whiteness works better. These holes right here. Okay, yeah, so you guys took weight out of it. Well, no, they serve a purpose. You actually take these screws out and you move it down 2-3 notches, whatever you need, and you reassemble and you roll with it. So that's the first thing that people notice. Is okay, yeah, so what are these holes for? These holes are for this. We wanted you to be able to move these turrets wherever you wanted them. All right. Now, the second thing, they're nice little index donut thingies. Yeah, no, I get it. The manual calls them index points. I call them donuts because I'm a fat boy and I like donuts. So that's what we're going to roll with. But, so what people don't understand is all these little holes, which are here, I mean,
they're all over the dang
all over
thing.
the place. Yeah. We threaded all those. Okay, that's cool. Well, what we did is we took the same attributes that Spur has for their scope mount, right? And we've applied it to ours. But our difference is anywhere you want, you can put one of our attachments, which has index points on the attachment, and you can simply bolt it on. Let me see if I can put it on there. There we go. And you can bolt it on. So at one point, we had a scope mount that had 2 diving boards on it on our Mark 11, on our 308. And people are like, well, why are you doing that? As I drop it. Why are you doing that? Oh, yeah, we put a PEC up top, and we put a PEC on the side, a rangefinder up top. Well, why? Well, because my hand is up against the magwell when I'm shooting, right? It's either at the magwell or it's all the way forward holding the bipod. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if it's at the magwell, I can control everything right here. Oh, okay, that's cool. So we didn't just make diving boards. We made pick rail sections too.
Yep.
Okay, now these are the anodized pieces. I'm waiting for the rest of the anodized pieces to show up because we're not stopping there. How about a bubble?
A what?
Bubble. How about a
For can't.
Yes, please.
Okay. As I said, we over-engineer everything. Well, what if I get a rail, an upper from so-and-so company, it's a blem, and it's canted a little bit. Okay. We have set screws in here so you can level the bubble level.
Okay.
And then we have red dot mounts coming.
I was just going to say red dot mounts would be...
Red dot mounts are coming.
I'm using the pick rail right now for mine.
I know.
It's
I'm doing the same
high,
thing.
But it's...
But at SHOT Show, we're going to have all this.
Dude, I'm genuinely excited about this scope mount, which is weird because I've never liked scope mounts for anything ever. So I'm like,
no, give me like just a cheap scope mount, and I was rocking it. If it works, it works.
Does it hold it still? Cool.
And then I just put attachments off my pick rail section, right?
I'm gonna say it kind of reminds me of not to talk about another brand, but there's another out there, Badger Ordnance, with their Condition 1, that I love the J-arm and I love, that aspect. And then if you go to Reptilia, then you can get the new top scope ring with the diving board or the ROF. You can do that. And it's kind of like you've taken similar concepts and you've went with the Spur, and MPA beefiness of an optic mount, and you've combined everything, because I do like the Badger Condition 1, but I don't see it going on a PRS rifle. It's tough built. Not to say it could be indestructible, but it's got too many bends and too many parts. You want something simplistic, and it seems like you found that, and also a way to outfit that same mount with all of the things that everybody wants. I think it's awesome.
So when we first made the first prototype of this, we're like, okay, does it hold 0? Like, will it hold 0 for the rifle? So we took a full auto M14, and we actually mounted it to it. We zeroed the optic, and then we went and we shot it full auto, and we put like 300 rounds through it. Okay, now if you've never shot a full auto M14, let me tell you, they're violent. Okay, And then we went to a precision range with distance, and it was still zeroed. And we're like, okay, so we have something now. Okay, now let's see how indestructible it is. One of the first tests is we want to see if we can knock it off the pick rail. So we mounted it to one of our uppers, and this is kind of bad on us because it's going to sound bad, but it's awesome. And so we mounted it to one of our uppers, put it in a vise, and just started beating on it with a hammer, sledgehammer, like a 5-pound sledge, just beating on it. No optic in there because we're not that sadistic.
We're not complete heathens. Come on.
I mean, caveman stuff still works, but not on this.
Yeah.
So then we actually broke the upper. We snapped the pick rail off the upper with this. Okay, so it holds 0. It won't come off. Okay, so let's start working on other attributes. And that's what we've continued to do. And we're all excited about it because I'm not a long distance shooter. I'm starting to rethink my builds just because now I want to see how this works. How does it perform? Yeah. Oh, that's not even.
That's not real long range. No. But that's long for me.
I have our 308 Mark 11, 18-inch Mark 11, right?
Yeah.
I now have the rifle, and I'm, going to order a scope, a high-end scope, and I'm going out there, and I'm going to learn to shoot long range. And why? Because I want to play with it.
Yeah.
I could put it on my LPVO, my 12.5 308. I can, but now I probably will. Oh, man, I really hope my wife
I
doesn't
love
do
it
this.
on my LPVO.
Yeah, I have it on an LPVO right now, and it works great. But I'm that guy that I want an LPVO, and then I want a red dot. That's it. Okay. But now looking long distance, I'm like, I can go to the world and back with this now. Like, what do I want to do? And so with the angle red dots we're making, the red dot mounts, the bubble level, we had a customer that at local range for us, Cedar Creek, that we use all the time. They shot it, and they're like, this is cool and everything, and we love that it's modular and we can do all this stuff. What about a bubble level? There we go.
There we go.
TBI moment.
We're going to have a reel of just
But he's like, hey, I want a bubble level. And I was like,
got it.
I did. Yes. And I was like, okay, why? I'm not a long distance shooter. Explain it to me. And he's like, well, when you're shooting, you want your long distance, you want, all this and that. And I was like, okay, are you speaking French? So we had a long distance shooter come in and sit down so Steve went to sniper school, but that was, early GWAT, pre-GWAT.
Yeah, he was still putting the powder in the front. We get it.
Yeah. Like I was still watching Ninja Turtles on TV. But so he came in and he explained all this stuff to us. And we're all like, bro, I'm down. So then we told our engineers and our machinists what we want. And one of our machinists, our lead machinist, the manager of the department, was like, I got it, boys. And he built it. And he's like, hey, Cory, I have 6 of these prototypes. I need them all. I was like, hey, can I borrow one? He's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, cool.
Not getting this back.
You're right. Well, I mean, he'll see this. So yeah, you'll get it back. I promise.
Research and development.
Yeah. But 100% that the customer asked us for it. And it's something we didn't think about. So like we listen to you, 100% we listen to you. If there's a long range shooter out there that wants something specific for this scope mount, let me know. Reach out to us and let me know, and we'll figure it out. We might just make a prototype and be like, yeah, it's not going to work. Here's the prototype. Have fun. But we'll give it a shot.
I think that it's cool, just like even in just this conversation that we're having right now, we're discussing how it's viable as an option as a mount for an LPVO all the way up to like whatever the biggest freaking scope you think you can mount to a gun is with that diameter. A huge rifle scope could go on there, and all the way down to a pretty compact little tiny thing, which we're seeing a lot of those come out in the market right now. Medium power variables and low power variables. There's a lot of that stuff. Again, my mind was blown when I actually got it in hand and looked at the instruction book and I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like I had no idea what this thing was about. I have been using it. I've probably, not a whole lot, but I probably put like 400 or 500 rounds and I'm just shooting 5.56 out of it. It's kind of a SPR gun. It's nothing crazy, but I've got the 45 red dot. That's the first time I've ever even dabbled in that. But it is just as viable of an option if I want to mount it to a really big bolt gun and try and shoot a mile.
Well, what I think is cool too, though, is the one I've got. I think it's what, 30 millimeter.
Yeah, so it's 30 or
30 mil.
34 right now. So 30 millimeter was the first one we produced because we actually had an agency,
Wanted
not
it.
federal, but yeah, they want it for LPBOs. Steve showed it to them, and we're like, well, tally ho, boys. Like, we're off to the races on this one. So we do 30, 34s right now. The height for the height right now is 1.5 to 1.93. I'll continue. It's made out of 775, 9 ounces. We're 0 MOA, 20 MOAs coming, and I'm done talking. Continue.
I was going to say it's pretty cool though, because you actually have a concept now where someone, depending on how many SKUs you guys wanted to get with, you know, you've got your bottom rail. We'll just call it the pick rail attachment point itself. You've got that guy. Then if you have interchangeable rings where I can buy 30 mil rings or 34 mil rings or whatever, you know, you've got that. I mean, there's so many different things. Like you've just turned the modularity of a well-built, reliable tank of an optic mount into, you know, into something that people can pick and choose, very similar to some of the cool AR optic mounts that are on the market.
Dude,
Right.
it's the P365 of an optic mount. Like it can be this big, it can be this big, it can be that tall, it can be like this, it can hold this many.
Well, in full transparency, I saved talking about optics and then the suppressors till almost the end because I wanted to make sure we talked about everything else Troy did. But I knew, like, I nerded out when this optic mount came in, and it was like, I can't talk about this first because if we do,
It'll be a whole show about it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a rack I'm out of.
I was going to say, Corey's going to call me tomorrow and be like, so we need to record again because that was just about our optic mount for an hour and a half, and be like, yeah, my bad. I really like it.
No, but see, we like that excitement because that tells us that we're on to something. When we designed this, we went, okay, what does the customer want? What does the customer need? 100%. I go back to, we're all different shooters. We're all different people. We all have different requirements. We all have different likes. We all have different needs. Okay, will this fit all of them? No, but we're trying to click as many boxes as we can so you can go, you want to what? I don't need 1.95. I need 1.93, and I need it in 34s. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got you.
That's cool.
That's right. Well, let's close it up on the modular mount for now. We'll take another really quick break and hear from our friend.
When precision matters, every detail counts. The Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper 2.0 takes accuracy to the next level with advanced sensors, a sleek touchscreen, and effortless calibration. Whether you're fine-tuning or loading in volume, the IntelliDropper 2.0 ensures confidence in every drop. Frankfurt Arsenal, precision starts here.
All right, everybody, welcome back from the break. We appreciate you tapping back in. Corey, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about another product that maybe isn't real well known from Troy, but actually
not as popular.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe
there
not
you
as
go.
popular.
I'll say it.
But it's been like it's been the better part of 2 decades that you guys have been making them. So tell when and why Troy decided to enter into suppression.
So yeah, it's kind of funny because you almost hit it on the head. We've been making suppressors for years. And people are like, oh yeah, you guys are just getting into suppressors. I have more suppressors from Massachusetts, Troy, than I do from Troy, Clarksville.
Yeah.
We've been making suppressors for years. We've been making. At one point, we had a suppressor line, 9mm 40, 45, 22, 308, direct thread 308, direct thread 556, and then we had quick attach 556 and 308. We have a suppressor that we made that we never released that I found out we made. We have some, and I'm working on something on the side, and when I saw it, I looked at Steve and I went, I hate you right now because this would have fixed the problem I was dealing with for the last 2 weeks. And he goes, oh, yeah, we have a ton of them. Like, I have a ton of them in a drawer. So we've made suppressors, and we've been working on suppressors for years. And from what I understand is we started making suppressors because law enforcement agencies, you got to think, okay, 10 years ago, almost nobody owned suppressor. If you own a suppressor, you were a bougie person. Like, let's be honest.
Or an international spy like you.
Okay, calm down, James Bond. Okay, James Reese will take you out. But, no, 100%. That was it. Like, John Wick had them, and stuff like that. And now it's become more prevalent. But back then, law enforcement agencies that were buying our firearms were like, hey, we want a suppressor. And we're like, okay, sweet. And what people don't know is Steve helped with the Mark 12 original suppressor. He was called in and asked questions. So he was on way back then. Okay, cool. Sweet. So Steve brought that knowledge and the friends that he's made in the industry, because if nobody knows this, most of the owners are friends, if you didn't know. But, so he asked questions and got the right people and started making suppressors. And he did that for law enforcement agencies. They wanted our rifle and they wanted a suppressor. They wanted a package deal. Well, if you're not in sales, package deals sell way better than non-package deals. It's just the way. If you can, little tip for all you gun shops out there, if you have a gun that hasn't been selling, throw an optic, a sling, and a bipod on it, and it'll sell. It's just the way it works. So law enforcement agencies wanted that. And so we started suppressor line. And the next thing you know, we moved to Tennessee. We brought somebody down who was a suppressor, we'll call connoisseur in the manufacturing side. And he helped us create our new suppressor. And then we have our suppressor recoil management department. His name is Jerome. And I'm throwing this guy out there because this guy's freaking Rain Man when it comes to manufacturing stuff. And they've been a driving force behind our new suppressor. So we've gone through a couple versions of our current suppressor line. It started out as the Troy Fast Attach. And then we actually took baffles away and it got quieter. So I'm not a scientist. I don't understand how hydrodynamics works. I don't understand airflow, but I understand that it's more pleasant to shoot. So we took baffles away, got quieter. So then it moved to the Troy Patrol Rifle Suppressor, the TPRS. And now it's turned into the Kryptos. And so the Kryptos is our suppressor. I have one right here on a gun. This is an ugly one. It's one that I've spray painted and taken pictures and I beat the tar out of. So don't beat me up too bad, people online. I love you. So let me take it
The
off.
Reddit crowd.
The Reddit crowd. That's okay. Half of this will be Cory bloopers on Reddit. So we came out with the Kryptos. Okay, so there is no external tube. Steve Troy was one of the first guys that actually welded his can and got rid of that. He said, it's weight. Why do I need it? Get rid of it. We'll roll from there. Okay, so we have that. And then the mounting system, this is all from here to here is the blast chamber. But what's cool is with our mounting device, this sits over the barrel. So it's a reflex suppressor, right? So it sits over the barrel. It helps keep the gun short and everything. And then with this crown area here, that helps with flash mitigation. So it's been tested by Recoil Magazine. It's been tested by AR-15 or ARFCOM. It's been tested by those guys. We don't do our own testing because, once again, you don't have the student grade their homework. If you want to test it, by all means, go right ahead. But Recoil Magazine, out of the ones they tested, they said it was the quietest at the ear. And it's kind of interesting because you guys. So I listen to you guys, right? I'm not an idiot. I listen to podcasts because it keeps us up to date as gun people. And you guys, I forget who it was, but yeah, somebody. So do you guys go for decibel reading or for the sound at the ear, right?
Yep.
So we go for the sound at the ear, and then we go, okay, yeah, that was really nice. Okay, so what's it reading now? Okay, so it's reading this number. Well, that was really pleasant. Awesome. Sweet. And we move on. Now, if we go, that was kind of rough. Okay, so then we rework it until it's pleasant to the ear. Because guess what's not at the range at 99% of these ranges?
A decibel meter.
Bingo! But guess who? All of our ears are there.
We all got ears.
We all have ears. Well,
Most
some
of us.
people don't. Those who fight Mike Tyson might not. But so some of us, care about the decibel reduction because that's pleasant. But there's also times that people are like, yeah, this can is super quiet mathematically. That's great. And then you shoot it and you're like,
Well,
okay.
I think it's interesting though, but it's like, our ears are fine-tuned instruments, but they're not decibel meters. So if we all sit there and we shot a Cryphos and the meter, we shot a Cryphos and then we shot 3 other cans, and in no particular order, they registered at 130, 135, and 138. We're not going to know, oh, that's definitely 130 dB. Oh, that's 138. Like 130 to 140, you'll audibly be able to hear.
Yeah.
You'll be able to hear, not maybe even 5 dB increments you might be able to hear, but we're not going to tell, oh, that's 131.3 and that one's 131.7. Like, we don't know. And at that point, it's more comfort of what is easier on the ear. So I think decibel gets you in the door to play.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, it's all about what you can, what the human ear can tolerate.
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent. I think that was in history of testing sounds. That's just like the easiest way for human brains to quantify if something's quieter or louder, even though to our ear it may not make much of a difference. Or something could be quieter on a decibel reader, but be made of a material that vibrates in a way that's annoying to some people. Yeah. So I think the industry is starting to wake up to realize like that's not necessarily good, bad, or indifferent.
It has its place. It has
Exactly.
its place. But once again, I go back to one product isn't to save all for everybody. I go right back to that every single time because you want to know what? What are you using the can for? Are you a SWAT team and you're in a school and you're shooting down hallways because there's a school shooter? And guess what? There's kids inside classrooms you may not want to flow through. You may not.
I'm not a fan of flow through anyway, but that's just me.
We're not going to get into that.
No, but
we're not going to get into that.
Well, but if you're a hunter, if you're a deer hunter,
it totally makes sense.
Who can make an ethical shot for the most part on the first trigger pull, like at that point, you don't want to go deaf, but I mean, your ears can stand a bear muzzle, but it can also withstand can XYZ. Doesn't matter. You're pulling the trigger one time and you're done, like, cool, end of story. But if you're pulling the trigger multiple times, now, okay, it matters. I mean,
right.
I mean, it's everybody has that one firearm that is obnoxiously loud and you don't know why. Mine is my H&K G3 and the muzzle brake on it. And for some reason, I don't know why it's so loud, but it'll move the pant, like my pants on my legs. I feel them flap. It's the worst muzzle brake in history, which I replaced and put a can on it. But like, I can even shoot that thing, without a suppressor 5 or 6 times. I mean, my ears are ringing, but whatever. But I don't know. I got to shoot your Cryf. I'm impressed with it. I'm super impressed with it. It's 5.56 is a hard creature to suppress. I don't care who you are or what you make.
A lot of gas.
6 is hard. And when people talk about cutting weight on rifles and they talk about how ounces equal pounds, and that's true in the suppressor game, tenths of a decibel, even though we're not really chasing decibels here, tenths of a decibel add up, and
they do.
It is super pleasant to shoot. I shot it with Ear Pro the first time just to see what I thought.
It's okay. You didn't trust us. It's okay.
Well, no, but it's like anything I shoot, I'm like, all right, let's see if I can just feel the pulse. I was like, nah, it's good. I know this is fine. Shoot that. And because I've shot some before and they're not pleasant to shoot and they're suppressors, but whatever. I shot, I was like, man, like you guys did a really good job suppressing 5.56.
Our 308's even better. Like our 308 is crazy because
But I would argue 308 though, and no, not to disrespect you
it's
guys or
easier.
anybody else. 308 is easier to suppress, but you've got, I mean, most everybody should be able to make a 300 blackout if you make a can for it. If you can't make one that when you should, if you can't hear the round slap the dirt, you should not be in the suppressor game if you're making 300 blackout.
If you can't hear that spring get compressed and come back, which depending on what you're shooting, it's hard to do. You're 100% right. Okay. Like
the first time I ever heard the wild, like old John Wayne movie Ricochets, first time I ever heard that was when I was shooting a 300 blackout suppressed, and to hear the you actually hear those with a 300 blackout suppressed, and you're like, whoa, that was kind of cool.
wait a minute.
Not actually cool, because I know that went somewhere, but that's a cool sound. But with your 5.56, seriously, it was you could, because they're high pressure. It was a blast for sure, but it was easy on the ear. It was palatable for sure. I'm not just like giving kudos. And what was even more interesting is the overbarrel design. First thing I did was, all right, I've shot about 2 mags worth. Let's thread this thing off and let's shoot this rifle without one. And man, I got to tell you, it was definitely a night and day difference. And even cooler was at 100 yards, which it's 100 yards, but POI on a 6-inch piece of steel, I was still ringing steel at 100 yards. And there's some cans you can't put on at 100 yards and, hit a 6-inch target with, because POI shifted.
So what's really cool, you brought up POI, so I'm going to hit it. So the POI is really interesting on our can. So I challenge people to, if you get our can, mount the muzzle device, zero your rifle, put the can on, and see what your point of impact shift is. I challenge people to do that. You want to know why? Because if there was a government agency that did investigations, right, they tested our can. And this is when we knew we had something big. They tested our can. So they put it on a...
Federally or just, not federally?
They wouldn't give us a certificate. So let's say they have jurisdiction in U.S. soil.
That works.
That works, right? Is that gray enough for everybody? Yeah. So they want to give us a certificate. So we kind of dance around names, but you figured it out. So these guys put it on a sled in their facility, and they shot it. Then they took the suppressor off and shot it again. And they ended up doing that with 2 different rifles because they didn't believe it. It's minimal at most. We've had people, law enforcement agencies. Yeah, that's a load of you're a sales guy. Quit lying to me. Okay, I'm a sales guy. I'm not a used car sales guy. I dress this way because I like to shoot, and I'm a hobo from out west. Like, come on, calm down here. Okay, so go test it. And they sent me pictures, and they're like, yeah, no, 100%. You're not lying. And I was like, thanks. I'm gonna go sell you a car now.
I'm gonna use that. I'm a sales guy. I'm not a used car sales.
Oh
guy.
yeah.
I love that.
Agreed. So before Matt hits you with his final question, let me ask you a question. Let's talk about gateway drugs. Let's talk about if someone unknowingly hasn't participated in the world of Troy yet, and they're willing to give Troy a shot. What handful of products would you say, aside from, hey, just buy a full rifle or whatever, and it could be that, but give me 2 or 3 of like, hey, you want to know what we're about, stuff that we're proud of, regardless of what it costs. Try this. And what are those?
Okay, so this is a hard one, and it's going to be real easy, believe it or not. Our squid grips. If we can over-engineer something that goes on a rifle to reduce heat and give you texture and give you grippage, and it costs you less than $30, and we give you enough to go a time, yeah, there you go. You get 7 of them. You want to know why you get 7? How many M-Lock slots are in a row on a standard rail? Anybody? It's
I don't
7.
have any standard rails.
I know. It's 7. It's 7.
Good to know.
Okay, so we did 7. And people are like, yeah, I've taken bags of them to show, like to suppressor shoots and stuff like that. And I go, hey, look, here's 7 of them. Try them out. Let us, if you like them, cool. If you don't like them, no skin off your nose. But it's something that's simplistic that we've looked at and we've thought about and we've processed, and then we created a product. And now the product has a following of people that are like, oh yeah, no, I don't buy your sights, I don't buy your suppressors, don't buy your any of your other stuff. Squid grips. Squid grips.
Well, that's
okay.
That's another product I just took for face value of like, oh, it looks different and kind of weird until I started playing with it and I used it. And then I thought, I'm like, why is every other thing in the market designed to plug these holes? The holes that when they're completely plugged, there's no air.
There's no airflow.
Like it can't cool down. What? That's so stupid. And now that I have squid grips, I'm like, I get texture, I get cover, and it still breathes. Like, and it breathes. Freaking stupid. Like, so dumb.
Especially if you're doing some SD setup with a can tucked inside, like,
dude,
like it is the dumbest idea that everybody still does because it's cool. Tucking your can in your rail, like it is the awesomest look you'll ever achieve, and it is the most awful way to shoot if you're shooting any sort of volume. It's the worst thing to shoot ever.
Yeah,
but with squid grips, it's not as bad.
It's not. So we have the squid grips, which a lot of people overlook.
Products you would suggest?
Yeah, the next product I would suggest. So 100%, it's not for everybody, but it's a thing that won me over would be the Mod Combat grip. Either the new one that we're coming out with or the original, the OG. I mean, so to give you an idea, we could get up 140 a month. Full process, ready to go packaged. There's months that we can't keep them in stock. And it's a vertical grip. So that is one of those things that I was set against vertical grips after my experience with the military. Set against it. And now I buy a ton of them. I have that grip specifically on every single gun that I run a vertical grip on. And then the last one, I'm not going to say, once again, this is kind of a weird one. I'm not going to say a gun. I'm not going to say a rail. The PDW stock. The PDW stock was the OG collapsible stock before everybody else came out with it. And it was, you know how I know that? Because it was designed after an M15 ERB stock. That's where we got our foundation from it. Then it was built. I've met the guy that designed it. It wasn't one of our engineers. It was Steve's buddy. And he designed it. And he's like, yeah, you should make it like this. And he sent him a little crew drawing. And then next thing you know, it's a full product. That thing's awesome. If you want to SBR, make that thing as short as possible and get rid of a buffer tube. Get a smaller buffer. But once again, the customer, the shooter, knows what he wants. It's 50-50. Either you love it or you hate it. So first would be the squid grips, then the Mod Combat grip, and then the PDW stock that we don't sell a lot of, but it's one of those things that I love.
Good insight.
I'll tell everybody, if you're unsure of what to buy your first thing, I would say either go with the squid grips or go with the modular scope mount. Those are my two things. I love them.
I am a user of squid grips. Cory broke my Troy chair. I had a pair of Troy sights on an AR a long while back, and they are great sights. Metal sights. They were my first pair of metal flip ups, and so I no longer have them because I no longer have that rifle. But then squid grips, and I was like, I don't know, these seem kind of gimmicky. And then I used them, and I'm like, crap, he's absolutely right. And then I was, full transparency, I was gifted the scope rail, and that's just it's not something I would buy for myself. And now I'm like, crap, this is a modular line that I am forever dedicated to now because I love it, and I'm excited to gather all the little widgets that come out for that thing. So
widgets,
yeah, all the little doodads that I can bolt to the side of this thing. You guys give me a year, I'm gonna have a whole nother gun hanging off of it here soon.
If you do, I want a video of you shooting it, but I don't want to be there when you shoot it.
That's fine.
I feel like that's fair, right?
I'll send the video. It's fine.
Yes. It's okay. This is me in the ER. It did not work out.
All right, Cory. Well, unfortunately, I think it's that time. It's about time to wrap. And I know that you are a watcher of our show. So I hope you've thought about this a little bit.
Bro, you're in trouble.
It is not the zombie apocalypse. The NFA does not apply. It's not World War III, but you got to cover all the types of shooting that you like to do. Not Cory from Troy, just Cory Halbrooks. What 5 guns are you taking with you?
So I asked so many. I've asked this question to so many people because when he started asking, I was like, "Bro, that is." I've stayed awake at night
Hard.
thinking about this, and so I've asked all the gun guys at Troy, and all of them are like, "You suck," because now, like, nope, yeah, no, I'm gonna go. Nope, I'm not gonna go.
You have to sacrifice something.
You have to sacrifice something. So I think I figured it out. NFA doesn't matter. Ammo doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Cool. I got it. The most expensive thing I'm going to need is fuel. So,
Yeah.
So, you ready for this? I mean, like, look at this. Like, you're in trouble, bro. I got it.
Oh, he's been working on it.
Okay, Bradley fighting vehicle. It comes with the M242 Bushmaster tow missiles, an M240 Charlie medium machine gun. Yeah, because it's one. This is one. Okay,
it's a Bradley. Yeah.
And you ready for this? Because I was mechanized infantry, I know about the M231s. M231s are machine guns that slide into the back of the Bradley. They're full auto. That's all they are, so that they can actually clear people before they drop the
drop the door.
Drop the door. Okay, so I got 2 full auto M4s. Now, if you look at these, they're ugly. So, because we deal with systems, the Bradley is the systems. What I would do is I'd take the 2 full auto M4s. I'd make one an M4, a 14.5 upper with a B5 stock, a Voodoo 1-6, second focal plane, our scope mount, and a Trigicon MRO.
I'm really impressed.
All right.
Oh,
this is gonna be bad.
Impressed.
This is gonna get bad. Our Cryptos, our angle grip, our an angle, of course, our squid grips, and the M640 turbo scout mount, scout light. Okay, so we're still on the Bradley. Like, you started this. Okay, number 2 is an 11.5 with a B5 stock, crypto suppressor, EOTech, EXPS3, an angle, squid grips, mod combat grip, because I love that, and another scout flashlight. Okay, firearm 2.
Here he is. Just like back in high school, coloring outside of the lines.
Coloring outside the lines. It was college. So, according to the ATF, the firearm is the serial number part. So, I'd get the Troy Mark 11 18-inch with the 308 TPRS suppressor, the Voodoo 5-25, our scope mount, diving board, angle, and the M4 4000 from Vortex. Yep. Okay, then you ready for this? I'd also put the Trigicon RMO on there, and of course, I need a scope mount. I need a flashlight. Okay, now because of that, now I like my 12.5, so I'd also have a 12.5 upper with a VCOG with our scope mount and 45-degree offset Trigicon MRO. I'd have our mod combat grip, once again, Engol, because I like them, and then a scout light. Okay.
He is killing this.
An MP5 SSD.
Ooh.
Now, this is the thing. You ready for this? Troy made a rail for that back in the day. So I would have the Troy one, and I've only seen it once. So
this is number 2, right? We finally made
this
it
is
to
3.
number
We're
2?
up to 3. This is
okay.
3. Number
okay.
3.
Number
sorry. 3. We're going by
having a hard
serial
time
number
tracking.
items.
Okay. All right. I'm
number
tracking
3. So the MP5 SD, angle, mod combat grip, and just RCR from Trigicon. Then I need a carry gun. So now we're at 4. You ready for this? A SIG P365 with the ACE 365-311, TLR7, and the Trigicon RMRCC. Okay, now the last one. You ready for this? And Matt, you're going to love this. I want an RPK S paratrooper. Nothing changed.
That's valid.
Nothing changed. And the only reason I don't want anything changed is because those things are just cool.
Dude, it's like the Russian saw, basically.
Yeah,
and
it's
just a scaled up
fun
version,
to shoot.
beefy version of an AK. And all of a sudden, like, you get this bull barrel that's 20 inches, and there's videos of guys shooting an RPK like 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
it's like, oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So I hope
I'm
I
down with that.
pleased you with that. I mean, because I have remade that list 16 times now. Because I'm like, nah, get rid of that. No, I want
I
I want
wish-
a 2011. No, I don't want a 2011.
I need a freaking scoreboard in the back because
I
right
do,
now
yeah.
at the freaking top, like Cory is killing top 5 right now.
We need to start making little magnets like they did on Top Gear when
Yeah.
they would race the car around the track and then
So-
where it landed and just start sticking them to the secure wall.
So for a while, like if you made me pick somebody for a while there, if I had to pick one person, lots of people had great stuff, but Carrie Sloan couldn't have been any better when she said like an aircraft carrier because her
Yeah,
husband
right.
drove
Yeah.
one. And it was like, that's going to be really tough to beat. But
Yeah.
you really put, a Bradley versus an aircraft carrier. An aircraft carrier would win, but because of the jets. But the amount of thought you put into that and the upgrades and then everything else that goes along
the
with
details.
it, man, dude, you're killing
Killed
top 5.
it.
So 100%, it got way worse. At one point I had like aircraft on there and I'm like, I just want to be the gunner because I know people that fly. I know how to drive a Bradley. I don't drive it well, but I know how to drive it. Like I went and I broke it all down and I was like,
I freaking love it.
the Bradley would just be.
I love that the guns on the Bradley had squid grips. That was freaking awesome.
Well, yeah, because
Perfect.
I'm not gonna use it for what it's intended for because why? I like to blur lines.
Yeah, and I don't want my hands hot. That's why. Well, Cory, you have passed top 5 guns with flying colors for
Well,
sure.
thank you, sir.
Still listening, we appreciate you tapping in. Make sure to leave questions, comments, like, share, subscribe. If you've got questions for Cory or anybody over at Troy, you can leave them here. I'll make sure that they get over and get answered. And thanks for watching Whiskey and Windage. We'll catch you next week.